Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Fran and today we will discuss the Darrow-BEM study and its results and possible implications. In the specific, we will discuss the difference between precognition and manifestation. The reason that I'm discussing this 10-year study in the context of the law of attraction, although it has apparently nothing to do with it, is because although its findings have been interpreted as proof of ESP or extrasensory phenomena and precognition, I will argue for a different type of interpretation. Let's take a look at the study first. BEM carried out 9 different studies in total on the subject of ESP, so his paper is a meta-analysis of his experiments. The reason for this was that BEM was a well-respected social psychologist at Cornell University, and he wanted to ensure that his findings were solid before publishing his results, as the topic was delicate and it could have ruined his career and reputation for good. The paper was methodologically sound, but its findings were logically insane. First of all, BEM had studied physics in Michigan before changing his subject to social psychology. He had an interest in mentalism and used his tricks to entertain friends. So his study on ESP was supposed to debunk the myth of ESP and telepathy. So let's see what this study was actually all about. In one experiment, BEM presented his participants with a computer screen with 2 sets of curtains. The participants had to guess behind which curtain an image would appear. The trick was that the answer would be randomly determined by a computer only after the participant had made the choice. If the subject managed to perform better than chance, in other words, if they guessed the correct curtain more than 50% of the time, then that would be evidence that they could intuit or predict the future. He found that participants could correctly predict the location of the image 53% of the time, so his findings were statistically significant. In another experiment, participants were asked to recall a set of words. In one group, participants were made to type some of the words before the recall test. Obviously, this group did much better than the other group at the recall test. Now, this was not a shocking result. Practice improved subsequent recall. However, then BEM flipped the tasks around. In other words, he first tested the participants on recall and subsequently asked one of the groups at random to practice typing some of the words. The group that after the test that practiced typing the words still did better than the other group at recalling the words, as if the effect of practice had affected the test results backwards in time. A similar experiment showed that participants would have an unconscious emotional reaction a fraction of a second before being exposed to a frightening or pornographic image. BEM interpreted all these findings as extrasensory phenomena. In other words, participants could predict the future. Now, this interpretation is consistent with the deterministic view of the universe, in which the future already exists and we simply don't know what it is because of our lack of knowledge. This view presupposes that we have no free will. If the future already exists, then our ability to make choices and change our fate is just an illusion. However, quantum physics suggests that observation changes that which we observe, that observational measurement collapses a wave of virtual possibilities into a definite particle or state. This suggests that the future isn't determined until we observe it. Now, we need to point out that there are many interpretations of quantum physics, and there is no consensus over any specific one. However, it is proven that when we observe a quantum state, we somehow tend to make it real, freeze it into place. What quantum physics has also proved is that quantum states exist as a wave of virtual possibilities when unobserved. From these, we can conclude that if the future exists at all, it must exist as a fuzzy cloud of virtual possibilities. It is therefore quite reasonable to conclude that all possible versions of the future exist somewhere in a virtual realm, but we can only ever experience one of them in our 3D space-time reality. And which one do we experience? The one that we choose to observe. Now, choose may well be a misnomer, as we might not even be aware that we are selecting a specific outcome. Our subconscious beliefs and expectations might well be the choosing for us, or do the choosing for us below the level of awareness. In other words, we are selecting the reality that we experience even when we're not aware that we're doing it. So my question is it possible that what Bem interpreted as precognition was simply a case of unconscious manifestation? In other words, is it conceivable that the participants were not in fact predicting the future, rather they were manifesting the version of the future that they were expecting? This alternative interpretation would certainly be more in line with modern quantum physics. What if all possible versions of the future already existed in some virtual realm, in the quantum field, and we manifested the one that we are most aware of or that we expect to happen at a deepest subconscious level? If that were the case, wouldn't it be worth becoming aware of our subconscious beliefs and changing the ones that no longer serve us? Wouldn't it be worth changing our thought patterns, our automatic reactions, and consciously choosing the reality that we intend to create? If our beliefs create our 3D reality, and we believe that our future is already decided for us and set in stone, and that there is nothing that we can do to change it, then these will become our very reality. Our 3D will always confirm our deepest convictions. Now, I cannot prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a correct interpretation of quantum physics. Scientists can't agree on a specific interpretation as yet, and perhaps they never will. But you can definitely put the theory to the test in your own life. You can start experimenting by altering your beliefs, thoughts, and expectations, and then observe what follows. You don't have to take anyone's word for it. In fact, the more skeptical you are, the better. But I do ask that you suspend your judgment and disbelief while you are testing this hypothesis. After all, if what we believe in and expect to find materializes in our life, then if we expect to disprove this theory, chances are we will. So expect this theory to be valid. Expect to be able to materialize your wishes and desires, and then suspend your judgment and cynicism and wait, or better yet, don't wait, just go about your life as usual. But do watch what shows up. After all, you have nothing to lose except all stress and anxiety about the future. It costs nothing and it can only benefit you. Please also feel free to share your results below. It will be evidence one way or another. And this is it for today. If you found this content interesting or informative, please hit like, subscribe, or the bell option if you wish to receive updates on my future videos. In any case, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful awakened day.